It's a wonderful question. I keep hearing this very frequently in some form or other. I get extremely demotivated while preparing for CAT. I just don't have the energy to pick up the pieces and have another go at it. I'm too tired. I just somewhere the drive. I just don't have it. Right? So there's no one size fit all solution to this. I'm not the person to give you one kit. Right? I suffer. Everybody suffers from this. Right? So you can't be intense and fully motivated all the time. All of us go through our ups and downs. Not here to devise a foolproof plan for how you can combat that. Right? I'm going to share a few tricks that have worked for me and for the guys I know. Maybe some of these will apply for you. Right? So this wonderful speech I heard from Tim Minchin, where he made one very vital point. He said, no, the more grand your ambition, sometimes it's tricky to get there. Set micro targets. So don't say that for the next 4 months I'll sacrifice everything and prepare day and night for this exam, then waltz through the interviews, and then have a great career. Say for the next 4 days, I'm going to look to solve 70 questions, 3 puzzles, and read 5 passages. So narrow down, set micro targets and execute. Sometimes the big picture is overwhelming. There are too many moving parts, and it gives you a sense of what you have not done rather than what you are doing. The greatest motivation kick I have found when I'm working is to actually execute. So I have 14 things that demand attention, and it's overwhelming and it's psyching, and I find no end to, and I spend 4 hours on YouTube. Then I say, look, I need to snap out of this. I'm going to forget about the 14 things. I'm going to pick up those 3, go into a zone, finish those off. So narrow down and execute. Set micro targets. Right? The second thing that works really well for me is set input targets, not output targets. Don't say that you have to get 95 in a mock and that's your target and you're working towards that. Say, I'm going to solve 300 questions. I'm going to solve 12 puzzles. I'm going to manage to read 2 novels. So what you can do is your input target. What comes out of that is your output target. So the more you set an output target, the more stress there is if that gets missed. That's not in your hands. So set narrower, short-term input targets. And you get feedback from the mocks, from what you read on the web. But a lot of this preparation process is lonely, where you have to do. Set your micro, small targets for input variables. That's usually relaxing. Don't go out there and see what everybody else is doing and psych yourself up. Set a small, tiny, simple target and do that. Third thing, set realistic ambitions. Don't say over the next 10 days, I'll take 8 mocks. That's silly, counterproductive, ain't going to happen, and probably you're going to get stressed at day 4. And so pace yourself, set realistic, simple micro targets which are input variable driven. And that I'm not saying how to combat the stress. I'm basically trying to create a mechanism where you don't think about the stressful metrics, but still get your job done. If you incidentally get your job done and do all the bits and pieces, the big picture will fall in place. Right? That's where the belief comes in. So when you're going through this is a test of temperament. You've got to say, I'm going to prepare. I'll give this a full-fledged go. It might not happen, but I think I'll give myself a good chance if I go on about it honestly. So all you're doing is to give yourself that good chance. And so define your preparation plan to give yourself a good chance. There's no guarantee in this exam. Everyone knows that. So don't track output metrics and psych yourself up by seeing a peer group which seems to be doing fantastically well all the time. And so be result agnostic and enjoy this prep plan by setting simple achievable goals. Not rocket science. There's nothing new I'm going to say that people have not said before. But these are 3-4 tricks that have worked for me. Therefore, give it a go. Best wishes for your preparation.